Pronomes interrogativos, question words, one slide more with a few activities. First one, we have here this table and we have these questions here, and you have to find out you have to pick the right question word for each gap. Okay, I'm gonna check the words with you first, and then I'm gonna ask you to try to complete this activity. So the first line is se chama a mulher do Fernando, so basically calls herself the wife of Fernando, so mulher means woman or wife. Number two is blah 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 is the estado civil. Estado civil means marital status of Pedro. So you have to find the right question word here. And then something, transporte apanha ele. Apanha means to catch. So transport catches he. Does he catch? Then fica, which means stays. Fica em casa com os filhos. So something stays in the house with the kids. And the last one is é que ele janta, is that he has dinner. Okay, jantar is to have dinner. So you have to find the right question word here. I'm gonna ask you to stop this video for a few seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes, whatever you need. Try to complete this activity and come back once you picked all the question words for this activity. Okay, so let's see the right question words here. So the first one is como, like how calls himself the wife of Fernando. So what's the name of Fernando's wife? The second one is qual. Qual é o estado civil do Pedro? So see, once again, after qual we have the verb, and this is really important. So if you're able to remember this rule, it will be much easier for you, at least to decide if you have to use qual or que, because after qual we have the verb, after que we have a noun, and then following this, what I just told you, we have que. So que transport, it's a noun. So que transporte apanha ele, like which transport does he catch? And here we have quem. Quem fica em casa com os filhos? So who stays in the house with the kids? And finally we have two options. So you can pick onde, where is that he has dinner, or quando é que ele janta, like when is that he has dinner. So both are correct, they mean different things. Now, qual é a tua nacionalidade? The translation for this question, hopefully, you know that the translation is what is your nationality? But if I ask you now to try to ask me this question, how would you ask this question in Portuguese? Frederico, what is the universe? Again, what is the universe? Can you try to guess? Can you try to find the right question in Portuguese for this? Usually it's not easy for students because I'm going to teach you something for the first time. Maybe you're thinking that the right way to ask this question would be qual é o universo? Because what I told you before is that qual, it's usually what, right? So if I'm asking you to translate what is the universe, and if you're thinking about qual é o universo, you are supposed to be correct. But now I'm going to teach you something that you don't know yet. We have another option, another structure for what. And the structure that we have, I'm going to show you, is o que. O que é universo is what is the universe. O que is what, and qual, it's also what. So probably you're asking yourself, all right, so qual, it's what? O que, it's also what? So how do I know which one I have to use? We have one guideline that it helps. It doesn't solve all the problems, but it helps. And I'm going to tell you which one it is. What's the guideline? So we use qual when we have a limited number of options to answer that question. So this example, qual é a tua nacionalidade? So we have like 200 nationalities or a bit more, I don't know. And you have to pick one of these nationalities to answer this question. This question here, o que é universo? there isn't a limited number of options, right, to answer this question. This is clearly an open question. So, and this is the guideline. So we use qual when the translation is what, and you have a limited number of options to answer that question. And we use o que when the translation is what, and we're dealing with an open question. Two examples more. O que aconteceu? Aconteceu, it's a verb in the past, you don't know yet, but I'll translate for you. This is what happened. This is clearly an open question. What happened? There isn't one or three or four options to answer this question. What happened? It is clearly an open question. Another one. O que vais fazer amanhã? This is the future. You don't know yet, so don't worry. I'll translate for you. But this is what you will do, you will make tomorrow. What are you going to do tomorrow, basically? So this is all clearly an open question as well. Okay. So qual and o que, they both mean what, and after qual you have a verb, and after o que you also have a verb. Okay. On the previous slide, I told you that after que you have a noun, but now I'm telling you that after o que you have a verb. Okay. All right. Now let's play. Let's try to play here a game to practice a little bit question words and the way like we ask questions in Portuguese. Let's pretend that I have here next to me a student who is doing level A1 with me, and we are obviously discussing this topic. And I'm going to ask that student to think about someone famous, one person, someone famous and someone who is still alive, okay? Because if that person is not alive, I would have to ask questions in the past, but at the moment we are um, practicing the present tense. So let's pretend that I have here next to me a student. I just ask him or her to think about someone who is famous and to keep the name of that person to himself or to herself. And now I'm going to ask him or her questions to try to find out who is this person, okay? So the first question that I'm gonna ask him or her is é homem ou uma mulher? So is a man or a woman? This is the first question. And the answer he or she will tell me. É homem, so it is a man. And now to try to find out who is this person, I'm gonna ask one question more. The question is, qual é a nacionalidade? So, what is the nationality? And the answer will be é English, is English. And now I'm going to ask one question more. Qual é a profissão? So, what is the profession? And the answer is é músico, so he is a musician. And now I'm going to ask this. Quantos anos ele tem? How many years he has? How old is he, basically? And the answer is ele tem mais ou menos 72 anos. So he has more or less 72 years old. And finally, I'm gonna ask, qual é a canção mais famosa? And the question here is, what is the song more famous? So what's his most famous song? And the answer is, a canção mais famosa chama-se Alien in New York. So the song more famous calls herself Alien in New York. So the most famous song is Alien in New York. And now I know that this person is Sting. Okay?